The first thing I want to talk about is the screen space on the mobile devices. Of course, this is expensive, right? The screen space on the mobile devices is something you want to utilize wisely. If you would see an application that's showing these empty screens, you would think there is something wrong. And perhaps that would be also the case if you would see something like this, an application that shows only, so maybe something like this. Or if you would see something like this, a screen that is really full with information. Again, think about a field technician who is going for a visit and is looking for information such as who to contact, who to call to get into the building, for example. If they have to scroll extensively to get to the information, that's also not right. And we know this from our customers who are reporting this as a problem. So well-designed, well-configured screens are important, and also flexible layouts are something that you need to consider when creating those screens. So we've defined something that allows you to go from something like this, where you see the information in the standard Resco view, to something more compact like this, where you put the information, the same amount of information, into much less space. Or maybe something like this, which you can then convert into something that covers much less screen. So instead of the standard Resco way of putting each field under the next, maybe you can put them next to each other, but also combine them with the ones which cover the whole screen. Or maybe some interesting table-like layout where you have more information within each row of the table. So for this, we've added a feature which is called Form Table with a nice designer. This allows you to add tables on the Form tab, so a new type of element called Form Table. This can be up to 2020, and each row and column can have custom width and height, so you can get really flexible with your layouts. Of course, then you can insert the form items into the table. That means that you can put in all the fields into those tables, into each cells as you like, and also you can put items like picture items or image items or button items into the table. Each element, such as field or the button item, doesn't have to be one cell within the table. You can stretch them to cover multiple cells, again, to give you enough customizability and flexibility within your layouts. So here is how it could look like in the actual Woodford designer. So basically, you start with the adding a table onto your form tab and designing how big the table is, 5 times 5 in our case. Then start adding the fields that you need, such as city, name, and so on. Once you have all the fields, you position them in the table. And as you can see, they can span multiple cells or the whole row or even multiple rows, again, giving you enough flexibility and customizability to achieve the layouts that you need. If you need more information on how to achieve this, this feature, go to our documentation. We have the bit already ready, so just go to the bit.ly Resco 130 table and see for yourself how to set it up. And I've also prepared a poll for you because I find the importance of good UI and UX in mobile applications important. So I want you to know how you are using it at the moment. So I'm going to launch the poll. And here I'm asking which of the features that we already have are you using for the UI that you do. And again, it's a multi-selection, so feel free to select more if you are using them in your projects. So first, okay, I think we are getting most of the votes, so I'm going to shortly close the voting and show you the results. So here we go. So it seems that most of you are using some tools to get better UI, which I definitely appreciate. And it seems that probably the same color themes and branding, custom images is what you go for. And maybe only later you go for views and flexible forms. So that's certainly interesting to know, and maybe something we could look into more into the future. So I'll go back to the presentation and talk about another problem, and that's the problem of signature. Now, the ability to capture signatures in the Resco app and generally in the mobile applications is interesting. And our data shows that capturing signatures is used more than, for example, capturing pictures in the mobile apps. That is interesting for me because I wouldn't expect that. But thinking about it, it seems that it's clear why that is. Of course, a signature is a proof, is a confirmation that something has been done. But this brings us to the problem, because from early age we are taught that you shouldn't sign what you haven't read before. And of course, you can do that with Resco. You can create documents that can be signed, but the process might be a little bit cumbersome, right? You have basically two steps. On one place, you provide the signature. Maybe on the order form, there is a special tab for the signature, and you do it there. And only afterwards, you can generate the mobile document, the PDF with the signature. Now, this is fine, it does the job, but it would be better if you could see the document you are signing. You wouldn't have to do it in two steps. And that's exactly what we added in our spring release. So the ability to see the document in the top part and sign it underneath. We call it new or enhanced signature flow, where the document is on the top and below can be one or more signature paths, because we understand that there could be multiple people, multiple users signing it. And additionally, each signature can have, so it's an optional comment field. And why we added a comment field, we've talked to you, to our customers and partners, and turns out that for the signature process, many times there is not just the signature involved, but sometimes you need to provide comments, such as if the customer is accepting the I don't know, the repair or the order, but maybe has something that he wants to add to that. And that's where the comment field comes handy. Or maybe you have a situation where there is a repair in the middle of the night and there is no one from the customer who is eligible to sign the document about the repair. So maybe then the technician can use the comment field to indicate that the situation was like this. So the setup is also very simple. So what you need to do in the report designer, you need to add a signature from the top and enable enhanced signature flow. And basically that's it. Now you are able to use that signing within the Resco mobile application. You can also set up the comment field. If it's left blank, there is no comment field within the mobile app. If there is the comment field selected, that will be used to ask for the comment in the mobile application flow. And if you would like to know more, again, there is documentation which you can follow on the bit.ly Resco 130 -sign. And these are maybe two highlights from the platform functionalities which can be used throughout the Resco technology, but of course there is much more that we have added, such as smooth Power BI integration. Power BI, we have users, customers, partners who want to have it in the app integrated. That's possible with iframes, of course, but unfortunately, the login was required every time the iframe was opened. Not anymore. There is a GitHub repository which you could look into and add a special type of JavaScript package that allows you to reuse the logins so the users provide it only once through the application session. We also looked at the life of entities. Think about salespeople, right? They work with accounts, companies, but just the company info is not enough. There is a lot of other info they need, like who is working at that company, what orders we have from that company, what are the tasks we need to do. And this is great, of course, but it's also not a complete picture. You have tasks that are being added or contacts that no longer work at the company or orders that are being modified. And even in the mobile app, you want to react on those actions and on those activities. With version 13.0, it's actually very easy. If you have those tasks or contacts or others as tabs on form, you can use on-change events to react when an associated record has been removed, added, or modified. Or if you have image items on forms, previously those were just static items that you could use, but now you can have actions on them. So directly, you don't have to use media tab. You can just use image item to do that and to show the picture directly on the form. We also have rich text editor or rich text fields, which you can use. Of course, this will be HTML formatted data within that field, but in the mobile app, it can be visualized like this, and also it can be modified or created as a rich text. And that's not all. Of course, we have added more, like the crop photo functionality, which can start automatically. Or for the synchronization, we have custom upload order options now. Or we have just casually improved the database speed by 30 or 40% on platforms. And of course, we have added the ability to configure access to mobile projects for business units, which was previously possible with the Silverlight version of Woodford and was missing in the HTML version. And for Salesforce, added support for parent-child relationships in online. And I understand that you might have a lot of questions for this, but I would just let you read the full release notes on our page. Again, a quick link, bit.ly Resco 130 minus notes, but you can find it in our docs.resco.net page, which is the improved support section. If you haven't looked into it, I really encourage you to do so because there is a lot of useful information in one place.